808s and Joysticks with Tom Stone and Tairell Hayward-Brown.
Welcome to 808s and Joysticks, a show that bridges the gap between games, music, season with pop culture. I'm Tairell, and joining me for an indefinite amount of time, as always, is Tom.
Why an indefinite amount of time?
Because we're in the lockdown, Tom.
We're not together. We're in
yeah, not together,
places.
but we are online. That's how the world is going to be now. Like, if you play Death Stranding, that's like we're all going to be like, talking to each other, getting things from like deliveries and stuff like that. This is how the world is at the moment. It is.
That's how the world works anyway.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I feel like after now, this point, the world is going to be like, yo, how can we go back to even just going to the shop? Yo, let me just use delivery to get my essentials now. Trust me, it's like a setup for like a future system for that we're always going to use now, like Amazon and stuff like that. It's gonna be much more. Like, people will rely on that a lot more, I feel like.
It is. And speaking of online content, obviously, this is online content, so we're still going to be here, still listen to us. And we also do deliveries through our website of merchandise. So if you want to shameless plug, but while we're on the topic,
you can get some clothes if you wanna get that drip up in the lockdown.
We also have merchandise in Animal Crossing now, which is pretty good.
How does that work? Like, do you have to make do you make the pattern yourself, or do you put the PNG in the game and then like it maps it onto the clothes, or do you just, what is it?
So you can scan in other people's QR codes of stuff they've made, but basically you get, if you unlock the Pro Designer in Animal Crossing with your Nook miles, you can basically go in and select what piece of clothing you want to do, like a cap or a hoodie, whatever. A t-shirt, and then draw your design on, like, separately for the sleeves, the front, the back, whatever. So it's a pretty decent little designer, to be fair. And I mocked up some of the stuff in that, so I don't actually have the code for my island on me right now, or my friend code, but I will probably tweet it out or put it somewhere.
So we can put the code up for the clothes then as well, like people can download that, or
I'm not sure. I'll look into it, but if you follow us on social media anyway, on Twitter 808s and Joystick, or Instagram 808s and Joysticks, I'll make sure that we put up some sort of QR code if we can, and you can get that then from either our story or a tweet.
Oh yeah, that would be really cool. If people can get that closing, we can maybe try and make some other things so people can add them into the Animal Crossings. That would be really cool. Do you think maybe that would be a way how people could, like, I don't know, like, not like flex. A virtual store, but not flex either. Like, I feel like, it is flex, because I have seen a lot of people like making, like, Supreme, and making, Bape and all these kind of other clothes within the game, and like and making album art and stuff like that. So I have seen people trying to flex real hard in there. Do you think that people would use this as like a way, like, to kind of advertise clothes? Like, do you think like maybe brands might use this? Like, this could be like a whimsical way, if there was a chance you could really partner up with Animal Crossing in a way to kind of advertise your clothes?
Oh, definitely, yeah. If as a way to advertise something, it's definitely something that they could look at. Whether Nintendo would agree to that, I'm not sure, because Nintendo are very they're quite against stuff like that, because obviously if you don't know, at the moment they're suing Dreams for
I was gonna say that brings on to
using
like
Mario.
This is one of the one little tidbits that we're getting out here is Nintendo is reportedly suing. I don't know if they're suing Sony as an entity, or if they're suing
Media
Molecule, or if they're actually suing individual users. I don't know how it's gonna go, because I don't think they can sue the individual user, because I don't think they're breaking any kind of rule in a sense. And then I don't know if Media Molecule are breaking rules by allowing people to put that kind of content in there. But from what I know is you can't transfer assets into Dreams, I don't think. So
no, you have to build them yourself.
That's what I'm saying. So I think if someone made it,
Nintendo still technically, I think they still have a leg to stand on in this, and I think they could win it still. which is that's just what I've been hearing. But that's just mainly due to the fact that Nintendo have a hell of a lot of licensing behind them. They've got trademarks and stuff in place for literally everything, because that's the most profitable part of their business, is that merchandise. Like, so that's why they always go around trying to stop people from using it.
Well, I'm guessing, because, by the way, like, I do, well, I felt like I was going to pick up Dreams. I am going to pick it up while we're, in the lockdown, and we ain't really doing much now. I think I was going to go and pick up Dreams, because it's just, the things that I've seen being achieved in the game itself is just amazing. Like, I keep seeing more and more things about it. Like, somebody made like a particular forest. I don't know what forest. I don't know if it was in the UK or somewhere else, but like made like I don't know what you call them. The electrical towers. They're not called they're called pylons. Pylons, yeah.
Pylons. Yeah.
The electrical pylons. Like everything in the back. It was just really cool how all of that was made up from the ground up. It was just a really magnificent background, and it looked massive. Like, and I just thought, wow, like people are making so many great things in this game, and I do see how some of the things that people are recreating are like remasters or remakes of certain sections of actual official popular games, and I can see where that can become the problem. When people are recreating whole sections of games within a Sony title, when that game probably would never ever exist on the Sony title. But hey, look, here's somebody who's made something that is probably 95% there. So like, I can see where people will start to get upset business wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the difference being is that obviously it's still not the game. It could be very similar, but it's not the game. So that's sort of where the creative license comes in, where they can fight on that end. And obviously it's not the same assets. People have created this from the ground up, but it's sort of the same as when you look at people, like when the people have tried to make Pokemon remakes in the past and Nintendo have pulled it down. Like, that's where it sort of lies that Nintendo might have something to stand on here, because they have existing of doing that. The other companies where people have remade games, so if people have remade stuff like, obviously Crash doesn't really matter because it's on Sony, but when you see people making like Halo and certain things, maybe in Dreams, or Ubisoft games, loads of different games that people have remade or recreated, you could say. The companies don't really care because they see it as a positive marketing thing for them.
Yeah.
Whereas Nintendo have always been very straight to the point. Pardon my language, but we don't give a fuck. Like, that's literally their stance on everything. Always has been. I think it always will be. And it to be fair, it works for them. You can't hate Nintendo for it. It does work for them. They are protecting their own intellectual property, which they're obliged to do. That's what you pay your fee for when you license stuff and trademark stuff, to stop stuff like that happening. But I think it's the fact that having something in their game, Nintendo primarily a family-friendly company, so having the assets in the game that someone's made, whether it's remade or not, someone could then take those and do something with it that they don't agree with, and they feel like they have to maybe stop it before something like that happens. That's probably where they're thinking. Because you could easily pass that off to someone that's unaware. An older member of your family. Everyone knows that typical cliche thing where it's like you tell your grandma to go out and buy a game, and she comes back with like a game that came out like 7 years ago that's the same game but just the wrong game. Or she'll come back with something that looks the same but it's different. Like, you tell her to go out and buy, I don't know, FIFA, she goes out and buys PES, and then the kid's like crying. Like, that's a really bad example because, for me, because I like both those games, but it happens a lot. And Nintendo, obviously, they don't want footage of something like that going out, and then people saying like, oh, Nintendo have made this R-rated Mario game, and then parents see it on Facebook, and then they're like, oh god, I don't want my kids to play on a Nintendo console anymore. Like, just the way the world works now, fake news is everywhere.
I do see where you're coming from, with content like that being being on the system, I do think that it is a big talking point. We've all had this issue, even going back years, and even in PC gaming, where mods have been a massive point of contention for developers and for people who are digital storefront owners like Steam and other places like GOG and all that. Just whether mods should essentially be allowed in games that might not be something that can create that is not a mature content game, but can have the capacity to create more mature content within. So I'm trying to think of examples. Really, I just think, like, from the modding community as a whole, you can make mods for whatever. There is tons of crazy mods out there that, I ain't really going to go down the list of mods that are really, really mature and, certain mods and things. For example, we're seeing right now in Resident Evil, which seems to be Resident Evil 3, the demo, somebody has modded it. So Nemesis, there's like thousands of Nemesises coming at you at once. There's Nemesis in a thong, all sorts of things like that. You know what I'm saying? There's one where it's not Nemesis, it's Thomas the Tank Engine. Like it's see what I mean? Like, it can range from going to scary when you're seeing 1,000 Nemesis, which are absolutely scary, or to kind of funny and a little bit unnerving, Nemesis in a thong, to Thomas the Tank Engine, downright creepy. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like
enhancing the experience.
Yeah, it's kind of enhancing the experience, and I see where Dreams is where they've given a tool where they're saying to people, go off, make us whatever you want, have the freedom, and don't really worry about it. Now, when something like this comes around, I think it's gonna not scare people, but now people are gonna be apprehensive to create things that might be inspired or maybe in the same vein as something that might be a protected intellectual property. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that, like, people just probably might be a bit more wary. You should be wary anyway. I don't know if Dreams has it in their terms and conditions, which people rarely read these days, which we should be reading a lot more these days. If they've got it in their terms and conditions that if you should not use or take likeness or anything
they don't. They basically say that it's like, you do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
From what I've read, that's what I understand, and they're the ones that are being sued by Nintendo, from what I believe, because they're the ones that cover the player base to do whatever they want. Yeah, and to be fair, it is still creative license. You're doing what you want to do. Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting court case to see what comes of it. It's definitely going to be interesting.
I'm interested because do you think this, whoever wins on whichever side, I think it could have a massive impact on the creator or for the person who has protective IP? Because if something like this wins, then a lot of places that have, stuff out there that is protected underneath, the creative license, and, it's fair use, and, we're fair to use this because we're not profiting off it or whatnot. I think then it goes off and, that could create a ripple effect, whereas people could start then suing different companies that have their IP on there and haven't, contacted them or protected them in any way or protected the creator. I think that it could go either way. I don't know. How do you feel, Tom? Do you think this could cause anything bigger than down the line for things like this? Things where, created content.
I know what you're saying. But I feel like Nintendo, that they're used to doing this anyway. So we've seen it with the ROMs. Is a prime example that's something similar, where people have recreated ROMs, or hacked ROMs, as they said, where people have like remade Pokemon games in their own way. And Nintendo have took them down. Or when people are making original stuff like as a concept, and then Nintendo have stopped them from doing it because it's infringing on their IP. Makes sense. I think they don't care too much about things like animation, stuff like that on the internet. Like, I don't think they're ever going to stop that. I think it's just because of the exclusivity of the game being on a competitor's platform, and that competitor allowing it, and obviously it being so mainstream. I think that's why they've interrupted. I think if it wasn't, I don't think they would care too much. But I think because of that reason, that's why they've interrupted. And I don't think that. I mean, Nintendo would probably sue people just to get money, but and you could fix my Nintendo Switch with some of that money, please. But they do just sue people to get money, I think, sometimes, and to sort of make a point. But I think what will happen, they'll possibly win. They'll get removed from Dreams because they've already limited editing on all the levels that involve Nintendo-based IP. So they'll probably get removed from Dreams. Nintendo will probably win, get a nice, I don't know, few million, and then that'll be done. That'll be it. But I don't think any other IP people will jump on the back of it. I think Nintendo were just allowed to because it's Nintendo. And I think also they'll get a massive backlash from everyone for being a bit sort of against creative use, being a bit, I don't know the right way to put it without being offensive to them. But
I think I want to give an alternative view, and then we'll go off this topic because we've been up for a bit. Give an alternative view about this whole thing because you said something interesting. About Nintendo and how they move with their business and how they're so protective, and maybe it isn't just for money. Maybe Nintendo have something much bigger in the works involving Mario Maker, because we know that Super Mario Maker 1 was really successful, and the Mario Maker 2 is super successful as well. Nintendo have already said themselves the way how they make Mario games, they always build like a kind of like a builder for it. So what if they have plans to release another Super Mario Maker where you can create 3D Mario levels yourself within the Nintendo system? I feel like that could possibly be a reason why they don't want Nintendo create content on a system like this, so they can control it on their own game. Because it makes sense. That's why Mario Maker exists. That's why all those Mario ROMs got taken down, because you can make all of those Mario ROMs now officially and send it out to everyone, and everyone can play them all on one game. So I feel like maybe Nintendo could be thinking about doing an even bigger Super Mario Maker 3 with 3D levels, so you can make like 64 levels and stuff like that. Possibly.
Hear me out.
Possibly.
Hear me out. I think that's a great idea. I think they're probably going to call it Super Mario Maker 3D. Because
whoa!
I know. I think
didn't see that one coming, Tom.
So because I came up with that first, we've got it recorded here. I think I now own that IP. So when they release that, I'll be able to sue them, get my nice few million, sit on it in the bank. But we know that they do that. We know that when they ported or started remaking the Mario Brothers games in like HD form in the Wii U and stuff, that's where we sort of got this Mario Maker thing come from. So I think your theory is very spot on. I think especially considering they've brought out Galaxy, which is very open. And not Galaxy, Jesus. Oh my God, Galaxy came out on the Wii. Although it was a great game. If you've not played Super Mario Galaxy, go play that game. I mean Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey, obviously the most recent 3D Mario game. The one that, one of the only 3D Mario games we've got in a long time that's sort of in that form. But yeah, it makes perfect sense. They've got the ability to do that, so why not just expand on that?
It was the first proper open world Mario game, I think, since Sunshine. Yeah,
I'd class Galaxy as it was sort of a hybrid, wasn't it? So
yeah, because you had to travel to different worlds, whereas in like Sunshine, it was all just through portals and like it was all one big map. So like same with Odyssey, it was just one big map in it. Like it's.
Do you know what I always found stupid about Super Mario Galaxy? How you as a 3-foot plumber managed to be the size of a planet and walk around it in like 2 seconds. I just thought that was stupid. Good game, good game. I'm not. One of the best games I've played, but stupid concept.
It's just. I'm guessing maybe in their world, the mushroom world or whatever, it's not relative to size in it. Like their worlds and that ain't the same as ours, maybe. So maybe that's just how it worked. He grows up with a mushroom, Tom. He could have just ate one. I don't know.
I'd say it's pretty similar. I mean, the last time I had a plum around, he started crawling in the pipes and there was turtles coming out and stuff. So, who knows?
Can we just carry on?
Yeah, we're gonna move on. I just had a notification on my phone actually, which is very important because it is what we're going to speak about anyway. But just had a notification, which is breaking news. Watch live now. Join our F1 Esports stream starring Lando Norris. So with the whole lockdown situation that's going on throughout the world at the moment, all the sports have been cancelled in the majority of countries, and that's leading to a lack of sports content in a lot of places, and a lot of people feel like they need that sort of sports fix. Now, what we're starting to see is electronic tournaments, esports tournaments to a degree, being started up by just people in general, or sometimes official things like the F1 officially doing it, but doing streams of it, not even tournaments, just sort of streams to put in place, getting personalities involved, like celebrity personalities involved, or actual official clubs involved, official players, and it's sort of expanding esports to a degree because you're seeing a lot of people that really would never consider esports as being a thing. It's now, because there's no sports, I'm going to watch someone play FIFA, or I'm going to watch someone race the F1. And a lot of people are going like, actually, you know what, it was pretty good. Like, it wasn't that bad. So this is the question I've got to pose to you. Is this quarantine and the lack of sports actually benefiting esports and sort of removing that stigma from esports that people may have had before?
Yeah, as I was saying at at the beginning of the show, we was talking about how things are going to be quite different, and how people's habits and the way how they're moving and acting now while we're in a lockdown. So this is something that the world, well, the modern world hasn't had to experience before. So yeah, I felt like people are starting to open up to some other things, things they wouldn't usually watch, things they wouldn't usually do, even down to things that they wouldn't even usually like eat, like, or enjoy, like, it's a very different time. Like, everyone's habits are changing, and I can definitely see more esports being included on TV. Like, even me myself, it was funny because we was just talking off show, like like I caught the F1 esports thing on myself. Like, I didn't know it was on. I didn't speak to Tom about it. I just caught it myself, and I just thought, hey, well, I wonder what this is going to be. Like, I was just really curious as in like what the setup was going to be like. Who were they going to have on the show? Was it going to be commentary? Like, where were they going to play the games? What systems were they using? Like, who was it going to be? And then, like, when I watched it, it was quite interesting because I was like, I seen a load of races and like F2 races and like celebrities and like commentators, and like it was just quite like a weird mix of people all racing like on like a virtual F1 track that looked like flawless. Like, I don't know what game. I don't know if they were playing the latest F1 game, but
it's so just to clarify. They do play the latest F1 game. And
those graphics were gorgeous. I don't even know what kind of what engine.
If you've never played the F1 games, then you're slipping, because the F1 games are incredibly good, incredibly detailed, and incredibly realistic.
Like, oh my god, like from the wheels to like just everything. Like, everything was just sick. Like, I was just like, wow. Like, I'm not into F1 like that. Like, I've got a friend that's into F1. He's really into it. I don't know if he's been watching the esports stuff. He probably has. And obviously, I know you, Tom, you like watch it every now and again or whatever.
I tend to follow the F1, but to be fair, I've not been watching the esports stuff of it.
Yeah.
But
so
I do
it
watch
was was interesting. It was very interesting to see that on TV and see that and to hear that other people are enjoying it. Now, I don't know whether that is out of just for the drought, because there is no sport of any at all is on. I heard that the last playing team is Belarus apparently at the moment. That's like the last team that's playing football, like just carrying on in the world. So yeah, if you want to do that, watch the Belarusian league.
Mm-hmm. I think they have some amateur boxing on normally down at Tesco's at the moment as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on around the whole bloody country. Bunch of clowns. Like, Yeah, I think FIFA tournament, I don't know about that. That's a bit subjective. I think the virtual F1, I feel like that is more true to what can actually happen in the F1 driving. Like, whereas like FIFA, I know certain man will probably enjoy that. I don't see the point of that in it. Like, but I can see the allure, seeing as there is no football on. Use some teams that we're gonna play on a day, set up with two great players of like FIFA. There we go. We have a match. Like, yeah, I can see it happening. But
yeah, JK was playing for Blues actually.
But are these man gonna play real 90-minute? I'm joking.
Nah, they did the matches, and I think
how long were they?
I 6 minutes, I think.
6-minute matches.
6-minute matches.
See.
They had a proper cup draw. I think it was 128 teams.
Sick.
Villa played VV Venlo. Villa lost in the first game, which is realistic. Arsenal didn't even make the cup draw, so you can't even laugh.
What am I gonna have is a fucking virtual FIFA tournament? Why do I care? I care. Football season is done. Liverpool won. Like, that was it. Like,
Ooh,
I already knew what was going on. Well, debatable, but people.
But we're not a sports podcast.
No, we're not. We're not
a sports podcast.
No, we're not. But
we're not an esports podcast either.
We know Liverpool's probably going to win. I don't know. I can't really see the season going ahead either way. I don't know what's going on in it. Like, we're in lockdown until June apparently, so
we'll see.
It's gonna be way ahead of that, by the way. I wanted to put some Street Fighter and like fighting games on. Hopefully that comes soon. That's what I'd like to see.
What, on like Sky Sports?
No, not really. Like, it doesn't need to be on Sky Sports, but like, if you're gonna put esports on, I would like to see like a nice variety of them. Like, not just like FIFA and F1. Like, you know what I mean? Like, FIFA isn't really that close to real football, is it? So
no,
might
but
as well put fighting games on.
That was just a randomly organised thing over Twitter. That was Leighton Orient organised that, and then the Sun and everyone got involved with it. Started sponsoring it.
Fuck the Sun.
And then I mean, they're sort of replacing the sports that would normally be shown.
No, normally be shown. All right. Then let's get.
You can't sort of. I know what you're saying, but like, I think if someone turned on Sky Sports and there's Street Fighter playing, they'd be a bit confused because like you don't normally have. If you were gonna put on like UFC, you'd replace UFC with someone fighting in the UFC game or something like that.
I understand what you're saying, but that's how I'm saying that. Like, but you could do it in a way where like we're gonna say, okay, we're gonna run these certain sets of games. These are esports. These are, make an actual effort to try and explain to people what esports are. Like, because I feel like if people see esports and they think it's just FIFA tournaments and F1, they're very wrong, because that does not make up the majority of esports. The majority of esports is MOBA games, Hearthstone, and all these kind of real hardcore nerd games that like are not shown on TV, but they make the most and they make up esports. So that's why I just feel like it would be nice to include those games. I know it's not the target audience of Sky Sports, but maybe another channel can pick it up. Maybe BT might want to pick it up. Maybe it'd be a great time for Amazon to pick up things like that. I don't know, in it. Like, somebody should just Amazon technically do.
Yeah,
it's Twitch. That's what Twitch is, but like, bringing it to a TV, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like maybe, because it is in America, it's shown on TV in America.
Do we need the TV anymore? I think there's a lot of questions that this poses for everyone. Like,
do we need a TV? No, not really.
Not really. Necessarily. Do we need the screen of the TV? Like, do we need? We've spoken about it before loads of times. Anyway, with the streaming wars that go on, we're crossing over into different areas here. But like with the streaming wars that go on, typical cable things and TV channels aren't really what people watch anymore. Like, people can just go on YouTube and Twitch, and that's literally all they watch. They don't watch anything else. Like, I spend a lot of my time, like, I probably haven't watched even Netflix since Friday, which, that's 2 days of me not watching anything on a traditional streaming platform or traditional TV. It's just me watching stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, okay, I do understand. YouTube is definitely a massive place for, that's niche content. Search something, get it specifically. You
but
can even get
Twitch do live stream all the events, the esports events. There's esports meetups and stuff. You know, we went to one at my university, and I've been to like some of the esports stuff, and it's pretty decent. Like I do. It's not really my scene, but I do like it. Like I do like watching the esports and stuff. I do get into it a little bit. It's not the same for me as an actual physical sport as such, because I'm used to watching things like football and playing football or rugby, stuff like that. So it's a bit different, but because I've got the love of gaming, I understand it and do like it and get involved in it. But I think it's hard to cross those things when you've got traditional sports fans. That's the problem. It's mainly all the stereotypes, and I think this is breaking down these stereotypes. I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say I think it's good for the world that this is happening, but that's not something that I want that on my record at all, because that's not what I meant. That could be taken completely out of context.
I know what you was trying to say. You was just trying to say about how the representation of esports on TV and how these are being introduced onto television due to the lack of sports. I understand what you're trying to say. Of course, you're not trying to say it's good for the world this is happening, but you're trying to say about how esports has been incorporated into normal sports scheduling. That's what you're saying, basically. I understand. I also think it's good that we are seeing things like this on TV. It's given a chance to see that, you know, games aren't just these things that, you know, people can get riled up about and get angry about, and, you know, supposedly that leads to violent behavior or whatnot. These can be shown as, you know, these can be viable jobs. These can be actual real life sporting events that can be popular, could be profitable, you know, marketable.
Do you know what would be interesting?
That's what the more important thing is.
Do you know what would be interesting? As a study or a comparison of the amount of violence and hooliganism linked to sports and esports, and a nice comparison between them, just to see what the comparison is. Because you like if you're gonna be watching like Hearthstone players getting violent with each other, they're probably like whipping out their decks, throwing cards at each other. It's not like pissed up big bold dudes punching each other in the street. Like, it's a bit different.
I'm just saying, like, obviously, you know, the bad rap that games get, you know, how people who constantly try and link games to violent tendencies and link games to this and link games to that, and like when, you know, there is real life sports out there, like, you know, people have like done real life real bad destruction due to a team losing. Like, I don't think you understand.
Kill people because the other team lost, or they just don't like the fans of the other team. They just don't like the fact that they're playing this other team. People kill people because of that. You don't really see that with the esports. It's also probably down to the culture surrounding it. It's a very different culture. But yeah, no, video games are not violent.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to, like, you know, prove points where, like, this is a good representation of games, and like I just hope that it carries on to be a good representation of video games. And, you know, it's even esports are treated just like real sports. You know, we have, you know, we've seen some of the same plights are going on there. You know, bringing up, you know, the Hearthstone when Blitzchung said about Hong Kong. The same kind of things were happening in like basketball, and people were talking about things like that, and the NFL, and it can be, there's many parallels, you know, there's many parallels between esports and sports. So it's nice to see that this is finally happening. But yeah, we've got just a few more things to talk about. Not really a few more things. Just
this stuff. I don't know what you want to. I don't even want to talk about some of this stuff.
I don't even know. It's just boring as hell. Like, it's just boring as hell, man.
We can talk about StreamAid because you put that up. It's hosted on Twitch, so it's gaming related to a degree, but it's what is it? You seem to know more.
Well, okay, so it was StreamAid, you know, going off with the whole.
I've got the description here. Sorry. The worlds of gaming, music, and sports are coming together to benefit the COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund for WHO, powered by the United Nations Foundation.
So that's a really, really, don't get me wrong, really, really massively great cause, and I'm glad. But the lineup and the representation of it and the way how it was all done is just not good. It just felt to me, it just wasn't put together using the right people. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that you really reached out to actual people who are on Twitch, like real people who do this Twitch. Like, they really be doing this, like, every day. You know, instead you've decided to get these random celebrities to come on, and for what?
Yeah, to be fair, there's people like, you know, they have people like John Legend in the lineup, Ellie Goulding, but then you've got like Rhett from Rhett and Link mixed in, Yogscast. There's a few different people. You got like Steve Aoki, Sigrid. Trying to see if there's anyone else that is like Jordan Sparks. God, no one's heard from her in years.
Yeah, but like, it's like, it's all like well and cool, but like, it's
Barry Gibb.
Sorry, just some of this stuff just doesn't make sense though. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
I don't think Barry Gibb's a great person to be picking for something like this either. But we don't know. We'll have to see.
Like,
it did happen. It's already happened.
It's already happened. Yeah, it's already happened. Like, and then like the show closed with Sting and Shaggy. Why?
Yeah, they did do some tournaments though, which was, so they had Twitch Rivals and Twitch on at the same time. One was basically Fortnite tournaments, Uno tournaments.
This is what I'm saying. Tom,
is that an actual thing?
No, it's not a thing. This is what I'm saying. Like, when I went on it, yeah, that was what was going on.
Yeah, but it's not so I can't go and play Uno, because like, if I could play Uno professionally, I'd play Uno professionally. I'm probably top tier, top 5% Uno player.
I don't think people are playing Uno professionally, but it looks like there is some type of like Uno game that you can get online. You can play together.
Oh no, that not what these kids do. This is old school Uno cards. Yeah. I can't do all this automated Uno stuff. It has to be old school cards, because you can't cheat on the games that are, you know, digital. You have to cheat with the cards.
Oh, is that what it's all about? You're terrible.
You always got to hide that reverse and that 4-way color change under your leg, and just be like, I've dropped my card. Pick it up, do a quick switch, put it back up. There we go.
Absolute lames on Twitch, man.
I mean, someone's gonna take that out of context.
I don't give a fuck. Like, what's going? Take it out of context. I'll tell you who I say is lame. Whoever this Cal Freezy guy is, yeah, he's lame. Tally and Mar, they're lame. They're all lame. Like,
are you calling out Carl Freezy?
Yeah, I am.
Alright. I mean, please do that, actually, because they'll probably do some boxer match sort of thing, and then we can get some good benefit off that.
That'd be hard. I'll beat his ass in the ring.
You're gonna do your training.
Do my training? I don't need to train. Trying to beat who?
I mean, you can't even do 10 push-ups, so...
Tom, I already told you. I don't need to do 10 push-ups when I can do 50 off video. I don't need to talk no more.
But you have to prove to the world.
I said I don't need to talk no more, Tom. I don't need to talk no more. Now, if you really want me to do 10 press-ups, I will. But I ain't filming it, though. Like, I ain't filming it for everyone to watch. Like, I can send one to you, but that's a little bit... Why you want a video of me doing press-ups on your phone? I don't really know why you want that.
I want that. I want proof.
Okay, Tom. Well, we'll see. See what kind of time you're on today.
I'm trying to think.
Let's get out the StreamAid. Like, forget it. I understand why it was supposed to be a good cause, but I just feel like it was I just didn't think it was. I feel like they should have reached out to people who were on Twitch, like actual real Twitch streamers. I know they probably couldn't, because you can't control those kind of people, and they probably would do some real crazy shit on stream. So like, I don't know, and maybe they just thought it would be safer just to use celebrities. I don't know really. But doing a Twitch tournament of Fortnite into Uno, into Fortnite again is terrible.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of Uno.
Yeah, but you couldn't play no other games. Like, I don't. It's like the worlds of gaming, music, and sports. But like, I don't really see all of that here.
Yeah, I think it was. Also, it's on 2 separate channels. I think if they were going to do it, they should have done it over a 2 or 3 day period on one channel and mixed it all in together rather than separate it, because you're going to have people just watching certain stuff. I understand that, but I think if you're trying to bring all these things together to sort of simplify that you bring in the world together, you have to do it all in one place, not 2 different places.
And get some proper people on there as well. Like, you're telling me you couldn't get a hold of Drake, like, or anyone. Like, you couldn't get a hold of some of these other people. Like, I'm sorry, there's not a single like popping person on there that I would want to watch, like, for the stream. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't get Travis Scott or someone. Like, you couldn't get anyone like that. Like, it just doesn't seem very exciting, and it doesn't really seem like the gamer audience want to watch this. Like, you're not getting the artists that they like, in my opinion. That's all I got to say.
I don't know if the gamer audience really like Drake and Travis Scott that much, but
yeah, they don't. But it will drive up, and people like popular music, and Travis Scott and Drake are popular people in it. Like, they go in that realm of pop music. I'm just bringing up examples of really famous people who are musical that you could have put on there instead.
We have Barry Gibb.
That's what I'm saying. You got Barry Gibb and Garth Brooks. Like, I'm sorry, Garth Brooks. Like, does anybody on Twitch even know who Garth Brooks is?
Yeah, didn't he used to play for Tottenham?
No, I think he's a really old country western singer.
It is a western singer, yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, who knows? It just doesn't seem like the audience is not gonna know who Garth Brooks is. So why would they put him on stream?
Garth Crooks used to play for Tottenham. Very different.
Like, and then randomly Kevin Gates. Like,
Kevin Gates, don't mind that.
I'm not saying, like, but just Kevin Gates and Tinashe for 5 minutes. Why?
Yeah, they were all for 5 minutes, weren't they? That was the weird thing.
But Kevin Gates had a 15-minute set. What was he doing for 15 minutes?
I don't know, but I see what they did there. I'd prefer that. But no, we'll move away from this because there's not much that we can really go much into.
No, we can't really.
Little key bits that we've
confusing.
got. Nintendo did do a direct this week, a surprise direct, or surprise. Everyone always seems to know when it's coming out, so it's not really a surprise. They announced a few different things, but I don't think we're going to go through it because there's not much that I've personally not watched it. I don't think you've personally watched it. There's not much.
Count yourself wrong, sir. I did watch it, so I'll tell you about it. Yeah, actually did. I know there's a few new things that are coming out for it. Like, I know they did Xenoblade Chronicles. It was nothing too much, really. 2K have, like, basically remastered all of their games and trying to make money again. They got XCOM, Borderlands, and Bioshock all coming out to the Switch. Yeah, I think that's about it. I know they announced some DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC, but they never announced what character it was. They just said that it's going to be from the ARMS series, and they just showed every single character from ARMS. So, yeah. That maybe all the ARMS characters are going to be in Super Smash Bros. Who knows?
I'm really excited for that. Loved ARMS. Moving on.
What else is there?
There's one final thing, because I don't really want to talk about the near remaster of companies slowing down internet speeds. It's depressing news. Saying that, this is also depressing news. God, everyone's depressed at the moment. It's depressing news. This is depressing news.
Tom, just think about what's going on right now. Of course, it's depressing.
No one wants to hear about a near remaster. So the internet speed's going to be slowing down. No one wants to hear about that. But what people do want to hear about is more details about the PS5 and Xbox Series X. I think we got more specs since the last time we spoke.
Yeah, we did. We got some specs. We had bloody Mark Cerny coming in and giving us a detailed breakdown of the PlayStation 5 wasn't the most entertaining video. I'll give it to them, but
I'll tell you why, because it was meant for GDC, Game Developer Conference.
It was meant for. About to say it was meant for developers, and it was meant for people who are into the tech and the hardware. I'm sick of seeing people saying how boring it was, and I'm like, okay, I get it. It's a technical breakdown,
right? Like, we're both probably gonna be people that preach this, but making games from a technical point of view is boring. It's
really boring.
Like, if you sit down and you optimize a game, it's boring as hell. Like, you're not doing it because it's fun. You're doing it so you get a better result at the end of it. Exactly. Designing a game, doing all that stuff, that's fun. Like,
that is the fun stuff.
That's the fun part. But making it work properly and stuff like that, programming in general as well, can be frustrating, can be boring. And, when you're talking about building hardware, again, it's going to be boring. If you're not into hardware, it's all right going like, oh yeah, I want to see what the... To be fair, they've given a rundown of what comes with the Xbox Series X and PS5, but they've gone into more detail. But, like, even then, people are like, well, I don't understand what that means. Like, yes, but if someone says to you, I've got 12 teraflops, if it's in an advert on the TV, everyone's like, oh yeah, it's got 12 teraflops. The PS5's only got 11. Like, it's fucking well better. But then, because he's gone into detail, everyone's like, I don't understand what he's going on about.
Exactly.
Like, well, you're not gonna, because they're not putting it in marketing terms for you. It's technical terms.
It's technical terms with a marketing buzzword called teraflop, which people see and think it's better because I don't know why everyone's got this mad notion in their head that teraflop means something crazy. I don't know what it is, but yes, a teraflop. The Xbox boasting 12 teraflops is very impressive, seeing as a supercomputer by IBM back in 2002 had the same 12 teraflops and needed to take up a whole room to be a supercomputer. So for that to be inside of a box, a gaming machine specifically, is very impressive. And hats off to Microsoft, because I know they're doing some really interesting things with the Xbox in terms of being a traditional gaming console. We're talking about the Xbox and the PlayStation. It looks like the Xbox and PlayStation are trying to do two different things. It seems like you would have to buy the console on what you would really want. Now, what I took from Xbox
is that what you took from that?
Well, really what I took from Xbox is that they are obviously trying to focus on allowing all their games to be played across all their platforms. I feel like they want to have a much more like
seamless integration.
Yeah, like a level kind of platform for Xbox games and the Xbox service and Games Pass. Whereas Sony, as I said, I've obviously tried to take it to the next level and try and focus on the gaming experience at the highest level. This is in the terms of when I was talking about the solid state storage. Like, that is the one big thing that everyone keeps talking about. Everyone keeps talking about this SSD that they've got. And from what I've taken from everyone and their information, it just means that the PlayStation 5 will be able to bolster much larger areas. Like, I don't know if you remember the demo of the PlayStation. I don't know, it was the PlayStation 5 apparently in it when they showed off Spider-Man and there was scaling in the game. Really, that is what that is one of the core uses of the SSD is for things like that. It's so you can get more data, you can write it and read it at a much higher rate and speed, which the Xbox won't be able to do. So they were saying that loading screens will be much more frequent within the Xbox system. That is rumored, we don't know. And apparently loading screens will be a thing of the past with the PlayStation 5. This is apparently... No, I'm just saying, this is apparently rumors and speculation and reports and whistleblowers and whatever from people who have worked with the system, people who have worked with the Xbox, saying that the Xbox is more powerful. People who work with PlayStation saying it's more powerful. I don't really know what to believe.
I've seen the tech demo from Xbox.
Yeah.
That certain people have put up where they've tested it. And the loading screens aren't really that. By the looks of it, they're both doing very similar things. Yeah, they're both going to have key values that they want for the next generation. Yeah. Xbox have a slightly different approach where they have extended media sort of in the form of memory cards coming back to a degree where you can put something on and take it to your friend's house and plug it in. which is very cool and interesting concept. But I don't know how much that's going to really play into people using it. And I'll come on to the other point I was going to make in a bit. But they both have very similar stuff. Now, from the outside, the Xbox does look more powerful. It does have more power inside. But there's variable power or variable limits on the certain things. So they have some components that are higher, some components that are lower. Now, the PlayStation is flat out just one rate for each component.
Yeah.
It has slightly less power, but the performance may be better or increased based in comparison to the Xbox because of the fact that it's not limited by having lower power as well, or not power. I'm trying to explain it in a normal way, but sort of lower read rates of certain things, and basically what this means is that the Xbox is more powerful overall as a console.
Yeah.
But performance-wise, because it's limited by its lowest point, the PlayStation's lowest point is just a flat out, and that's higher than Xbox's lower point. So the performance of a PlayStation 5 is possibly going to be better than the performance of an Xbox Series X. But it's only going to be very thin again. It's not going to be massive, the difference. They're going to be very similar. They both have ray tracing, backwards compatibility. Xbox probably more backwards compatibility than PlayStation.
Much more. Well, that's the one thing that I was a little bit upset about is
but
I don't know if PlayStation are leading to talk more about backwards compatibility, but at the moment it's only going to be for the PlayStation 4 and obviously PlayStation 2 games and PlayStation 3 games available via PlayStation Now. So
it's only certain games. But remember, we covered that patent a long time ago that PlayStation looked at for backwards compatibility stuff. Now, I think they're doing something with that, and it probably isn't finished. It's probably a interesting thing to do. But they're going to go back and sort of work each game. They said out of like top 100 games on PS4, work each game to come to the system at some point, which is interesting. Xbox are doing it slightly differently. I think there's a sort of like plug and play, and obviously you've got the backwards compatibility anyway. They had it previously.
Well, Xbox obviously, they've come into with certain games that they've got on there and the way how they can port over things, and obviously having the upper hand of having Microsoft and being a PC giant and a computer giant as it is. I think it is probably a lot easier to manage to port some of these games over to cross platforms. So I don't know if that's something that maybe Sony are trying to figure out, but we know that much more PlayStation games are going to be coming to the PC in the future as well. So I
want to point out the people that were getting angry about that on Twitter, Horizon coming to PC.
Why were people getting angry about that?
Because they were saying, I bought this as an exclusive and now it's coming to PC. Go home. Sell your Xbox. Give it to someone that wants it.
Okay,
not your Xbox.
The PlayStation.
That's me. That's just me. That's my hate for Xbox coming out.
Being an exclusive. All right, I understand. I understand it. Okay.
No, I don't understand it. I don't. No.
I'm saying. No, I'm just saying. Yeah, okay. Being an exclusive, I understand. But I'm saying I was saying like it is stupid. Like it's gonna be on the PC. It's gonna be on the PC. It's been years after the game has come out. You can probably pick it up for so cheap on the PlayStation now. What is your problem if you've like brought the game and now it's going to be on PC? I just feel like there shouldn't really be an issue with things like that. It's not going to be on Xbox. It's not going to be on the Nintendo Switch. It's not going to be on the iPhone. So like,
it does not matter what platform a game is coming to. As long as the more people that get to play that game, you should be happy because those people are enjoying the same experience you enjoyed. You shouldn't go, oh, well, this is an exclusive and it's always going to be exclusive here and only I can play it. Like, get off your high horse.
Exactly.
And, stop giving the community a bad name. Like, it's annoying that people think they're entitled to play only that game on that system, and that's it. It's only ever going to be on that. No one else is going to have the experience because they don't have a PlayStation. Why should no one else ever get the chance to play that on a different system?
I just because people just really want to. It's all I ever see is like it's like a pissing match between like Xbox fans and
pissing match.
I don't even know, whatever it is in it. Fuck knows in it. It's like pissing match in it. Like whoever can piss the best or whatever in it. Like whoever's console is the best or whatever between Xbox, Sony, and then obviously you got the PC guys just like in the middle, just kind of just taking the piss out of everyone because everyone's games are coming to PC regardless if everyone likes it. So like I'm saying
non-Nintendo's.
Except for Nintendo, but if you want to play some Nintendo games on there is ways. Obviously, go download Dolphin and like. If like,
Nintendo coming for you.
Nintendo couldn't even take Dolphin down as long as
Nintendo
you
couldn't
legally
even fix my Switch.
If you can download Dolphin if you legally own the game. So if you illegally own the game, there is no problems. I'm not telling you to get where you're getting your games from. If you legally own any Wii game or GameCube game, feel free to play it on Dolphin.
I don't know the legalities of that. If that's correct
no, it is correct. It is correct. If you own the software yourself, you can play it on Dolphin because you own the software. It's your right to do what you want to do with that software. As long as you're not downloading the software, or if you've taken that software from somebody, even if it's your friend, that's when apparently it's illegal. So,
yes, sir. Lawyer Tyrell tells you it's fine. If you have any issues, then.
If you have any issues, just email me.
Just email just Tyrell.
Just email me, yeah. If you got any issues about emulation and that, man, I get you right. You know, I know my rights when it comes to emulation. But anyway,
what's your fee? What's your hourly fee?
Hourly fee. Probably take about £50 an hour these days.
That's a cheap. That's a cheap solicitor.
I'm not a real lawyer.
That's a dodgy backstreet solicitor.
I'm not a real lawyer, so yeah, I'll take £50 an hour. That sounds like a good rate. I can't really remember what point we was at now. Yeah, so if it's usually just a match between those kind of people who are complaining about all these games not being on their systems and my console's more powerful than your console and all of these kind of things. It doesn't matter anyway, because I think Microsoft and Sony are going in two different directions when it comes to doing games. Nintendo's in their own lane, and the PC is just now kind of like a hub for pretty much anything. And also I feel like it gives us a good chance now for people who can't get a PlayStation. They can sell the high seas now and play first party Sony titles if they want to. Like, people can't afford things like this. Say again?
I said no, don't condone that.
I never condone anything. I said sail the high seas. What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Great game.
See, now you just made it even more. I never said anything about Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now we know what that game's about, Tom. It's about piracy.
No, it's not. I again can't remember where we were. Basically, both the consoles very similar. The companies might be going different directions with games or how they approach games, but both the consoles are very similar. We're going to see a lot of similarities going forward, and there's not much to really go on apart from that. The last little thing that I said I was going to mention earlier is that Xbox have a really, really, really interesting graphics thing that they're doing, where basically they take compressed images or textures, which is like 720, I think, or 1080 textures, and then upscales those textures into 4K through DirectX in the hardware, and basically makes it look like a 4K game, but with the size of HD textures, so it cuts the game size, the file size of the game down hell of a lot.
So that's how they're getting around their data. Their data problems then with loading large textures and things like that.
Possibly, yeah, they've got some custom code that does that. However, here's the kicker. Now, you ready?
Yeah.
That code has been stolen, and Microsoft are being held ransom for $100 million.
But this can't be real. Where's the code?
It's possible. I thought this
Damn.
earlier. Someone sent it to me earlier, and I was like, I can't be right. I was like, how could someone steal the code for graphics for a console? I was like, that's not real. And then I remembered they have this really interesting new technology which does textures, and I was like, someone's got that.
Apparently, it's being used by PlayStation 5. It's the ray tracing stuff. Apparently, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X code stolen from AMD and put in on GitHub briefly. So they've just stolen it from AMD.
Well, who knows? Well, they're trying to hold Microsoft ransom for 100 mil. Don't think that'll work.
Yeah,
Don't think anyone really cares.
They actually are. They
actually are what? Paying it?
They spoke with the hacker, who is a woman, who claimed she felt that the information would be worth $100 million in the original GitHub post. I don't really understand why this is going on though. Like, the source code was unexpectedly archived from an unprotected computer/server through some exploits. I later found out about the files inside. They weren't even protected properly or encrypted with anything, which is just sad, the hacker said. I haven't spoken to AMD about it because I'm pretty sure that they're just accepting their mistake and moving on. They will try and sue me, so why not just leak it to everyone? Apparently the code is just out there now.
When it's there, it's there.
Yeah, once the code is out, it's out. But like, but people are not gonna know. People are not gonna know how to like. People are not gonna know how
to understand it. But I mean, you
to utilize it properly. Are they like?
You have to gain access to possibly the AMD chips that they're using, which no one has access to. So it's a bit pointless.
Apparently, it was two. It was like two things that they took. So they took from AMD's big Navi and Xbox Series GPU Arden source code. So they've took like a few things from AMD. So this could cause a bit more of a problem for for AMD, because they've actually stolen codes for some of their new GPUs as well. So
it'd be interesting to see if people could do something with it. I'm not condoning it, but I mean, it's out there. It'd be interesting to see what people could do with it, because it could really enhance PC gaming as well.
Yeah,
if you know Xbox runs on DirectX, PC runs. If you got a Windows PC, runs DirectX games. So it's interesting.
Well, I don't know what this is being used to.
Stuff like this is definitely going to benefit streaming of games as well in the future. So we're definitely going to see stuff like that moving forward.
They've got the code that is used on like the brand new AMD like graphics cards that are coming out at the end of the year, like basically their Titan, like, and they've stolen the code for the brand new one. So the AMD are probably like shitting themselves about this. This is like a massive breach. Like, I'm surprised this is not bigger news. This will cause a real issue. Like,
I don't think it would be that. I think it's okay, but I think unless you have access to the resources and everything available, I think it's very limited into what people can do.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we don't know.
No one's going to recreate an Xbox or a PlayStation 5, are they? Like,
oh nah. But I wouldn't say stranger things have happened like on Kickstarter, where like a man will come out with like a system that claims to play all the console games.
Yeah, I'm excited then. All right, so Ouya 2, next topic.
Ouya 2. I think we should just
reported that Ouya 2 contains really, really revolutionary graphic capabilities, upscaling of textures.
Do you know what it just reminds me of? Like, it would just remind me of, like, say for example, somebody came out with like a really crap like Kickstarter console, but like it was super sick. Like, it just ran games so sick, like better than most consoles, and everyone's like, whoa, what the hell? It would kind of be like, remember in South Park when Randy steals like that, like the space ball and puts it inside of like a little car. Have you ever watched that episode?
I can't remember what you're on about. I don't know if you just made that episode.
I have not made that episode up. It's the one where he dresses up as Princess Leia. He goes inside of like a science thing. Princess Leia. And goes inside of the science thing, and takes out like this little ball and then creates like time travel like out of it. Like, but all Stan wanted to do was like win the derby racing. It's kind of like this. Like, imagine if someone just. Do you remember it? Like, imagine if someone just stole the code, made a graphics card, put it in there. How'd you make this console then? Can you just tell us how you did the code? Can't tell me how I did the code. This might actually happen.
Well, what we've learned from that section is that Tyrell is going a bit delusional from isolation. And
I'm not going a bit delusional from isolation. Tom has gone a bit delusional from isolation. He was sending me selfies the other day, not a couple hours ago.
No, it was the other day. I was testing out my Instagram filters.
I didn't see not a filter on those pictures. I just want to tell that to everyone. So I think we need to check who's really.
It's all them filters that you pull down. You know, you try the different things. All right, Thomas the Tank Engine filter. Yeah. You gotta look good for the ladies.
We're talking about nothing now at this point. Just what's the call?
There's not a lot to talk about.
Let's just move on to films and TV, please.
Bridging the gap between music and gaming. 808s and Joysticks.com.
Is this stuff that you've reviewed? Is this Tyrell review section? I'm going to sit back, relax, and Tyrell's going to do a little review of stuff that he's watched this week.
Oh, wow. I did watch some of these things. I watched Tiger King, which was really good. It's a documentary on a guy who owns lots of tigers, but it's not just about that. It becomes more of like a documentary about murder, like possible abuse, possible like drug abuse and like things like that. You know, killing of tigers. No, basically everyone is involved. I suppose you haven't watched this. It's basically a 7-episode documentary on this guy called Joe Exotic. He ran for president. He ran for governor. He actually got votes. He was actually a pretty insane guy, and it's like basically about this community of these exotic animal owners, and they're all batshit insane. And in America, there is absolutely no laws that stop these people from like owning like. He had 257 tigers in America, in Oklahoma. Like, does that sound right? I don't think it sounds right, really. So, like,
I don't think we've ever seen a tiger.
So, yes, all of these guys have like these massive tiger like places, and like there's like a massive rivalry he has with like a woman who runs a tiger sanctuary, and like.
Is this like a reality TV show?
No, it's real, Tom. It is real. It's a documentary. He's in jail now. Apparently, there's a season 2 coming out. It's like Making a Murderer. It's basically one of those ones where like somebody was filming already and like just happened to be filming all of this stuff. It's really good. It's trust me.
On Netflix?
You're thinking it's on Netflix, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this advertised, but I just sort of never. I say I've not been using Netflix too much, so I didn't look to watch it. But I had seen it advertised. It did look interesting.
Yo, it's probably one of the most craziest things I've ever watched.
From what you were just explaining, I just had this picture in my head when you said like rival tiger gang. Of like, have you ever seen Lizard Lick Toe and stuff like that?
Lizard Lick Toe?
I was just imagining like these people like fighting over stuff with like tigers.
Bobby, I remember Bobby from Lizard Lick Toe. Oh my god, yo, Lizard Lick Toe was joke. I don't even know how TV series like that even existed on TV. Like that was so fake. Like it just had to be fake. Yeah. So basically, it was like that. Like there is other rival tiger people. Like there's like Vegas is involved. Like celebrities, people. Shaq was on it. Like it was pretty insane. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's really good. You should watch it. It's not very. There's some really horrible things in it though, so you have to. It's kind of like one of those ones that you have to kind of watch it and kind of think, oh, okay, it's got to be some tiger abuse in there and all sorts of shit in there. So like, if you don't like that kind of stuff, then I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still recommend watching stuff like that, even if you don't like the abuse. I always recommend people to watch stuff like that, even if they don't like the abuse.
It's weird.
You don't have to physically watch the abuse, but just to sort of educate yourself more on stuff like that. I think stuff it's definitely worth it.
And why it's not good to go to some of these places and support them still, because I know you probably think it's cool these tigers all chilling, but like 257, like the way how it goes down, like if you watch the series, you can see that it just started to get out of control. So like, yeah, it's insane. I didn't know the tiger trade was that big in America. There's more tigers in the US in the rest of the world now. So yeah,
that's quite interesting fact. Tyrell's interesting fact of the episode.
Yeah, interesting fact. Go and watch Tiger King. I actually felt really sorry for the guy in the end. Like, you'll see why if you watch it. I kind of feel sorry because I feel like he really does care about tigers, but he's got mental health issues. So, like, yeah, it's one of those. Seven Seeds.
Not a good mix, that.
No, it's not a good mix.
257 tigers and having mental health issues in the middle of America.
Tom, you need to. That is the least of his problems. You just need to watch it all.
Okay. I will watch that.
I watched part 2 of Seven Seeds. That was a anime series that I previously watched, like probably last year now. Very, very good series. Very, very important. I would think people would love to watch a series like this right now because it is about when a mass pandemic happens on the world and when certain people it was done a long time ago. It's a bit different.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that it's based off it.
It's not. It's not based off it.
I don't know if people should be watching stuff like this right
now. No. It's a lot different. Trust me. Just hear me out. And it was when people have been chosen. Some people have been training for this. Like, it was like a controlled thing. Like, it was like a meteor or something was going to hit the earth or something like that. It wasn't like an illness. Do you know what I mean? Like, tonight. Really?
Apparently in the UK, Sunday 29th March, meteor shower tonight. Apparently, just a quick bit.
Did
of
you know at the time?
Facts.
Do you know how like weirded out I was yesterday because I didn't know the time went forward? I thought we actually time traveled. Like, I actually got really confused yesterday.
This episode, all you've been going on about is time travel.
Because
I'm seriously worried about you.
Time is such a weird concept at the moment because I'm just not
time
doing.
Isn't real.
I'm just going through the day. Like, it doesn't feel like it's 9:15 right now. I don't know what time it feels like, but all my time clock is very off at the moment. It feels a lot earlier than it should be. But yes, with Seven Seeds, people were selected. Like, there was like an elite group, then there was a group of normal civilians, and then there was like people who had certain skills, and they were all put to sleep before this meteor or whatever hit the earth, and then they all woke up at certain times, but it didn't go to plan. So when these people did wake up, the world was there, but all these little plans that the governments all over the world set in place for these people to follow to repopulate the earth didn't work, and everyone started doing their own thing, basically. It's a really interesting story. You should really you should watch it. It's very good.
Consider it. Well, yeah, doesn't matter. I was just gonna say I'm still working full time from home, so
exactly.
I'm in a different position to a lot of people. Like, my job hasn't really changed much, so I don't have the time to do stuff still. I'm still trying to go about a normal routine whilst not being able to go outside. It's a bit weird.
Yeah. Not everyone is well, it's been kind of like a little bit grateful that me and Tom have been able to be able to work from home, and I got confirmation that I will be like fine as well. Like, my job is fine. So yeah, it's a little bit sad at the moment for certain people who have not been as, fortunate for things like that. But there is a lot of opportunities to go out there and try and get grants and funding and whatnot. So contact your local government, wherever you are in the world. If they're doing something about it, you try and get whatever money you can right now. Didn't want to go on a little bit the sad side, but yeah, no, it's not sad. It's trying to keep
serious information. Just trying to keep people informed.
It is serious information. That is some serious information that people do need to know if they need help. Try and contact people as soon as you can, rather than later. Don't leave it. So
should point out as well. I know we said at the start of the episode, but we are in 2 different locations. We always record in 2 different locations anyway, so we're not sat together. We're not going meeting each other. We're both in isolation ourselves, and still being able to do this. We always have done this, always will do this, but we're going to continue to do our content as normal, and a little bit more content as well, which
exactly. And I think
you'll see in the next few weeks.
I think, and I don't want to say it, like, I feel like this is where like we've came into our stride as a show. We've already set up on the basis of where we knew we was never going to be living close to each other even after uni, and Tom drives and he has a car, but I'm not expecting him to drive to me like every 2 weeks, and I'm not going to be able to get the train to him all the time. So we knew we had to have a setup that was going to be viable for the two of us to stream and record remotely with each other, no matter what happens. So I think for us to already have a setup like this we're grateful, because we are seeing people who have to use studio spaces and rely on studio spaces adapt to that now, which I think is quite, like, I'm seeing people trying to figure out different ways and how to record and stuff like that. And yeah, I just feel like, people are starting to think that, this is viable now. Like, we don't have to have a studio space.
No. Beneficial, but not.
Yeah.
Oh, that was very loud. Beneficial, but not important.
Not important, no.
Yeah. But there's something interesting. I seen this the other day as well, and I'm guessing you've seen it because you're angry about it. But Hulu released a trailer for a new animated series called Solar Opposites, which
I'm not angry about it.
Justin Roiland, co-creator of Rick and Morty, his new show coming to Hulu. Very similar to Rick and Morty, actually. You can tell how much influence Justin Roiland has over Rick and Morty from this trailer.
I was happy. Like, I don't really care in it. Like, I don't care what he's doing with the rest of Rick and Morty. Like, I just see like an article about it every day, like speculating or something. I'm just like, just give it a rest in it. Like, not just keep speculating about what's gonna happen with the rest of the series. We're gonna run out of ideas of what's actually gonna happen in the season. So like,
do you want me to tell you what's gonna happen? It's delayed because there's a pandemic globally and people can't animate and draw stuff in a studio at the same time. So that's what's happening. Like, nothing's happening.
Exactly. There's so many things. Like, as I said, the world is not going to be the same after this. Like, it's going to be such a difference. Like, we're not going to, there's things that we thought we was going to see this year, we're not going to get until next year now. Maybe even the year after. There's going to be things that we're probably never ever going to get now, because this year is going to mess up so much production, and in terms of people getting things and schedules and people, being in different parts of the world and all sorts of things like that it's going to mess up things. So I think people just need to kind of think back on themselves and think about other people and think about how people have to still work and be in this really messed up situation right now. And, just think about that. Just think about the safety of people. Like, I don't really care about a cartoon at the end of the day. Do you know what I'm saying? There's people dying. So...
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean...
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's like one of those, really, like, when I do see the hardcore fanboys, like, saying shit all the time, I'm thinking, give them a rest in it.
We've got very serious in this part of the show where we didn't really have much to talk about.
We've got nothing else to
talk about. We spoke about
really.
It and got very serious about it, which is good. But, yeah, it looks good. I'm excited for Solar Opposites. It actually comes out very near my birthday as well. And seeming as I'm going to be on my own lockdown for my birthday, that's how I'm going to celebrate it. So, exciting times. Last little thing is just Disney Plus launched this week in the UK, finally. 7-day free trial for a lot of people. I think Onward's coming 3rd of April to Disney Plus globally, which is really interesting because that's probably the first time a movie that was released has come to a streaming platform within, well, a movie that was released in cinemas that has come to a streaming platform within like 2 months.
Well, they were saying, Disney was saying going forward that they wanted to have that anyway. That was what they were trying to do. They tested that out when they brought out Frozen. I think it was 12 weeks after Frozen was in cinema. They brought it out on DVD, I think in time for Christmas. So they've been trying to test out releases like that. And now because Disney Plus, it's their service, I think they're not going to really care if they've even done a simultaneous release. Release in the cinema, release on the service. Netflix do that. I can't really see why Disney's not going to get that off.
Disney Plus do that anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Some of the original stuff, like Lady and the Tramp on Disney Plus, it just released on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
no cinema.
There's no cinema release or anything like that. And we've seen more streaming services. Obviously, what's going on right now with the lockdown and the pandemic, we're seeing other film studios releasing their films much earlier on streaming services as well.
Oh, not on streaming services for $20 fees on online platforms.
Whoa!
It's like a $20 rental.
Oh, okay. I'll walk that back. I didn't know that they were just dropping them out there. You had to buy the film and rent.
I think technically you can rent onward still for probably $20, but that's where Disney is slightly better because Disney are now just going to release stuff earlier because of what's happened. And to be fair, I mean they've got enough money. I know. Well, I know you're going to say I'm big. Look at Tom, big Disney fan over here.
No,
coming from Mr. Disney Plus sitting over there watching Disney Plus.
I'm not watching Disney Plus. I just happen to have access
to it.
I just happen to have access to all of these streaming services. Not my fault. Like either way, yeah. I wasn't gonna attack you for the Disney Plus thing because like it is what it is, isn't it? Like I do see about Disney. My huge problem with Disney is just the way how they were coming out with the streaming service and like they just announced all these things. I just thought it was just a lot of things to announce and they couldn't promise everything. Obviously, we've heard about Lizzie McGuire is no longer coming to Disney Plus now, and you know, I think there's going to be more problems like that will come ahead where maybe
there definitely will be now. I think this has done a lot of things for a lot of people. And you will see the everlasting effects of that throughout streaming services, stuff that they've been making where production's been halted. And I don't think you can hold a lot of people accountable for that. Things might have been going sour before, but then there's not a lot you can do at that point.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, in particular for Lizzie McGuire, that was just because of creative differences. Disney wanted to carry on Lizzie McGuire in the same kind of like style of the old Lizzie McGuire show. And Hilary Duff and the creator themselves wanted to do a more mature take on Hulu, and Disney couldn't come up with a decision, so they just axed the show. So like, I
want a more mature Lizzie McGuire, if I'm being honest.
I like if Lizzie McGuire was gonna come back, it did make sense for a more mature Lizzie McGuire. I do get it. I did not understand how they were going to make a children's show with a 30-year-old woman. With the bistro in Soho. Like I just did not understand how that was going to work.
That's so Raven.
Yeah, but it's whack, Tom. It's whack. Come on now.
I've not watched it.
Raven's Home. Have you watched a single episode? I sat down and watched one episode. Because
I think Disney.
My mom and dad have Disney. Like, I do have a younger brother. So, like, whenever I go home, I watch the TV, like the Disney Channel, Cartoon Network, because that's the only place I still can watch, like, all those channels and the film channels or whatever. It's like when I go back to my parents' house. So, like, when I did watch this Raven's Home, like, it just was nothing like that, So Raven. It was just really not the same. And Raven just was old. Like, you just didn't really add up.
Yeah, no, like, I know what you mean. I think they're trying to get, like, it's what they always do with stuff like that anyway, but you get your parents that grew up watching that stuff to get their kids to watch it, but this stuff's more catered to the kids now, but the parents have that sort of nostalgia feeling from watching it.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt like Lizzie herself was obviously like, well, Hilary Duff herself was probably thinking like, oh, I'm above this. Like, I want to make a more mature, like
Hilary Duff above this.
Yeah, no, but like but she obviously thought she had enough because apparently she was going to put money in herself to fund the show as well. So she's obviously feeling like she's got passion behind Lizzie McGuire. It's not like she's just doing this for a check. If she was willing to put up her own kind of like money and whatnot. So I'm thinking to myself, why not? Why not take a chance on a more mature Lizzie McGuire? But I know Disney are very protective on the way how their images and their IP. They couldn't let a mature Lizzie McGuire run. Do you know what I'm saying? I just knew that was never going to happen. They would have to call it something different. Which is not to say that they couldn't just call it like another TV show name and have Lizzie grown up with all of her brethrens like Miranda and Gordo and her boyfriend and their partners and have it like, kind of like a new Friends. Do you know what I mean? Like they could have done something like that if they really wanted to do a mature take. I'm giving ideas away for free now. I'm shutting up.
That's not an idea. No one wants to see that.
No, I'm not saying
Maybe
anybody
you,
wants to
but
see
no
that.
one wants to see that.
No, I don't want to see that because I hate Friends. I don't like Friends. Friends is shit. Like, I've never liked Friends. I've been on a blanket statement to say Friends is whack. You want to fight me about it? Fight me about it. Like, I got smoke for everyone who likes Friends, except for Brandon and some other people that might be my friends. But like, if you want to argue with me about Friends, if you want to argue with me about Friends, we can, because it's not that great of a show in my opinion. But I'm saying that, like, if they really did want to do a mature take, if they wanted to get the old cast back and call it something else, they could have. But I don't think Disney are really going to want to do all of that. And that's kind of extra. And I don't really know if anyone's going to watch it. So,
yeah, I think that's the problem. They're not going to do that. And yeah, fair play to them. But we will see it. Yeah, they're obviously invested in Hulu still, because we've just seen Solar Opposites. So I think they definitely have a plan for both things, which is good to know. It's good to know that Disney's still got that plan in place.
Is Hulu still? Is there any plans for it to come to the UK yet, or that's still being discussed?
There will be plans, I'm guessing, at some point, but I don't know enough details to know when. There was rumored plans before. But like I say, with everything that's going on at the moment, I think it's no one's really making any business decisions regarding anything. I think everyone's seeing how stuff works. I mean, a perfect time for Disney Plus to launch, though. They timed that perfectly, unintentionally, but they did time it perfectly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Disney Plus did come out around about this time. We'll see.
Maybe
Well,
maybe it's a Disney conspiracy.
I'm not gonna go as far as say that, 'cause it's pretty serious shit in it. Like, I'm not gonna say Disney's involved in this in any way. Like, it does look a little bit strange. I will say, well, like, you know, like, I won't say that. Like, Disney, like, is what it is. One more I'm looking at, like, as I was saying, we was gonna talk, you know, it's supposed to be the Netflix killer. Disney hasn't really killed Netflix at the moment. Like, Netflix is still doing all right.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not gonna. To start with, though, they need to make, you know, move to that platform and do content on that platform. You've got to remember, they've still not got any of their big stuff come to the service, really. The Mandalorian is like it. No one really cares about High School Musical, the series, apart from me.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not even saying that like that sarcastically. Like, I do like that show, but no one else cares about that show apart from me.
I told you. I was
and
on
maybe
here,
like
yeah.
13-year-old girls.
I was on here, Tom. You was there trying to.
I'm trying to get everyone on the show. No one wants to watch it.
You there trying to bar me to death about how this is going to be the sickest show and it's going to be the comeback of High School Musical. I told everyone, Tom, no one is checking for that. No one, like, if you was going to bring High School Musical back as a TV series, yes. But not this High School Musical, the TV show. Like, what the hell?
It's good. It's good.
It's whatever in it. Like, it's cool in it. Like, The Simpsons is on there.
That's my recommendation.
The Simpsons is on there if you want to watch that, but I wouldn't really watch past season 8. So that's my opinion on The Simpsons. That's when all the funniest people left. So.
Bridging the gap between music and gaming. 808s and Joysticks.com.
So, last half hour of the show then, we have some music to talk about. Not a lot, but we are going to discuss some albums in a little bit of detail.
We're not discussing this for a whole half an hour. Not even that many albums came out. Well, I haven't even listened to the Weeknd's album properly, you know. So...
You've not?
So we'll start there.
Okay, you do a rundown of the albums, and then we'll go back up and do a rundown of the two big albums, you know, The Weeknd and Childish Gambino, that we will speak about.
I don't know how you. I don't like how you just threw some dirt on Party's name right like that.
I don't really want to talk about Party Mobile. It's a good album, but I don't really have. I don't have an.
How do you know it's called Party Mobile? It could be Party Mobile.
Nah, it's Party Mobile. Like Playmobil, but party.
Nobody knows what it's called.
The R-rated version. Now, I've not had enough time with Party's album to actually talk about it in detail.
So we got The Weeknd After Hours. 350. So wait, was it supposed to be? Oh, okay. Future Nostalgia, but Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa. That came out early because he already leaked a week ago. So yeah, Jesse Reyes before Love came to kill us. Insomnia by Skepta, Chipmunk, and Young Ads. I've listened to this back to front quite a few times. It's hard.
Chip, not Chipmunk. Chip. He's now known as Chip.
Yeah, whatever, man. I'm calling him Chip. Yo, I called him Chipmunk when I was a youth, so Chipmunk,
he was better when he was Chipmunk.
Nah, come on, no way. Chipmunk was rapping really good on this project. If you listen to it, like he did really well. Nah, he was rapping pretty sick. Chipmunk's a really good rapper. He's up there in UK. I'll put him in top 10. Who else? Oh, 1988 by Knowledge. Really impressive project. It's just really instrumentals and soul samples. It's so good. Like, it's really, really good. I've listened to it about 3 times now. It's really good. It's got Anderson .Paak on there as well. It's got a new NX Worry song on there, so that's good. So yeah, we've got Party Mobile, Party Next Door, first Rihanna feature since 2017. 3:15:20 by Childish Gambino. That was a major release, very, very under the radar.
We discussed this on the show the other week.
We discuss it on the last show or the show before that.
It was the last show. It was when the live stream was going on, and then
the live stream was just going on. Yeah.
And if you look at the date, that's when the live stream actually went live.
Went live. So
15th of March.
I got a theory. If you want to bear with me when we're talking about the album, and then the Weeknd After Hours. And Giveon as well. Take Time EP. Giveon was the guy who was featured on Chicago Freestyle with Drake. Like, he sounds like Sampha. Very, very good project. Very, very good.
Okay, so where are we starting? Let's start with Gambino, because we both listened to that, and we discussed this last time, so it's the best thing to start on. And enlighten me with your theory. What is your theory? If your theory is the date is that because it was meant to come out last week and it didn't, then I think that's the theory everyone else has.
Nah, that's not the theory. The theory is, to me, that is he's gonna have 4 separate projects. This is the first one, and he's gonna have a live stream that is gonna be on a certain day, and he's gonna call each and every project the day that he does the album on. The only reason why I think this is because he had 4 split up album artworks that were all cut into sections. Now, whether that is the whole album artwork or if that is going to be separate album arts when it all releases as one big thing, that is my theory anyway. That it's going to be another live stream. It's going to be another album, different album, or the same album, but it's going to be slightly altered. Like, this is like a draft version that we're getting. Then we're going to get another version that's been worked on again. Then we're going to get another version, and then the last date is going to be like the ultimate final version of the album. That's just a little theory I thought from when I looked at the website and I seen all these album arts on there, and it said cover, and it said 1. So I thought, like, okay, we're going to get something that's going to be a split up, like he's trying to tell a story. Then another theory was that, like, this album is split up into 4 parts. So I don't really know what to think. Feels like Summer is returned to the album, and it's not called Feels Like Summer on the album. It is now a timestamp. So
I don't know what Feels Like Summer is. I think it's 4212. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
song.
I think it's called is 4212. I think Feels Like Summer is. Then we have Algorithm, which is a song that was already out on the interwebs via like YouTube videos or whatever. Yeah, he actually apparently did this all live. Apparently, some of these other songs were included in some of the really old Pharos like tours that he did. Some songs that were unreleased that we thought we were never gonna get, which are on this project now. It's almost like it was all a part of a wider, bigger plan that's all been in play, and by the looks of it, it has. So we'll see what Gambino's going to do after this. The album is very incredible. It's not something that is made for... It's not an accessible album. It's quite like there's songs that are like 7 minutes long with like 65 different beat changes and synths coming in, like he's got like vocoders on his voice, and he's like, it's all weird, and like it's a very, very experimental album. And that's why I know we call it pop now, because it doesn't really have a genre. It doesn't sound like pop music. It doesn't really sound like anything. So like, I think it does sound. I don't really know.
It does sound. So people have been saying it's like because the internet crossed with Awake On My Love.
With Awake On My Love, yeah.
Which I don't see so much. I see more Awake On My Love influence in this.
Definitely.
And more like from the Guava Island stuff, the soundtrack from that, more influence from that stuff.
I see big influence from Kawhi as well. Going back, and I listen to Pop Thieves, and I listen to Sober, and I listen to some of the synths and the beats and like the drums he uses on that, and they sound like songs that he did around that time, or he's used old concepts of songs, which, as I said, bringing up the song Pop Thieves, which was an old song from his mixtape Sick Boy, which was like years ago. He redid the song on Kawhi. There's no, it's the same way how he's now introduced Feels Like Summer 3 years down the line again. I felt like Gambino has just got some of these songs and he's just like constantly working on them. So the concept of him reworking that album until he gets it to the final stage, I don't think that's really a stretch, in my opinion. But I could be wrong in it. It's just a theory in it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good theory. I've not thought that far into it, to be honest. I just thought that it's come out and that's it. But I thought that
I get really weird sometimes, and I go on Reddit for ages and start looking at shit.
Yeah, this is Childish Gambino. Donald Glover presents Childish Gambino. This is prime, what Gambino does, and to be so vague about stuff and have surprise streams and stuff, it does lead into something else coming, or at least something to do with something. And the conspiracy people can go away and work their magic and do that. I don't look too far into too much of that. I just
there's people already looking into the code. You know what people are like.
To be fair, I was doing that the live stream day. We discussed that last time.
People are looking in the code. Some people are saying that there's like a folder on there called like week 2 now or something like that, which is suggesting there's going to be like a second week of streams. Who knows?
It was streamed last Sunday though. I mean, it wasn't streamed this Sunday, so. Interesting.
Maybe he's leaving space to breathe for that album, and then he's gonna run the new one or something. We don't know. This is just so much speculation on our part, like, and everyone's part. But the album, as I said, still did really go under the radar. It only sold 25,000, which is obviously very low for the entity that is Donald Glover. But
he didn't advertise it. The album artwork is a white page.
It's a white page. There is 2 versions of the album currently on Apple Music. One as a massive long track and one split up. We don't know if people are getting confused with that, because that's not underneath Childish Gambino. That is just underneath Donald Glover Presents. So we don't know how he's actually dealing with this. I feel like obviously Childish Gambino does not care about sales or anything like that. But
I don't think he cares anymore. He's happy with himself and the music.
Yeah, he's a massive musical like Redbone shot him up. Like, people love Childish Gambino's music now. Like, he's like a household name. He is somebody who's recognizable, and I think that for him to come out with such an experimental album like this, like, there's so many songs on this that it's just not accessible. Like, it's just songs on here are just not accessible for like I can't see people listening to this and be like, yo, this is hard. Like, it took, you know what I'm saying? It took a while for me to get around some of the songs like on there.
I mean, to be fair, I hit with it straight away. I think that was just me. But I was a really, really big fan of Awake On My Love and Kawhi and Guava Island. I'm probably more of a fan of his singing than his rapping, whereas you're the opposite. You're more of a fan of his rapping than his singing.
I am a fan of Childish Gambino's rap.
I'm not saying
some of my favorite songs. Yeah, no, some of my favorite songs of his are probably all of his singing songs. Like Earn is one of my favorite songs. Stand Tall is one of my favorite songs of his. Like, don't
Mm-hmm.
saying like so many of them are like those are probably my favorite songs due to the production and the way how he uses his voice on there. And then like rap wise, I don't think he did he even rap on this. Not really.
It's
No.
just little slithers, but not anything that's major. But I have
This is that kind of genre I'm talking about where like I feel like Tyler the Creator needs to be like put in it. Like it's not like rap, it's not R&B, it's not really pop music, it's not funk, it's not soul. It's kind of just like I want to
Pop.
say like I can't say it's like world music. It's not pop though. Like it's kind of like it's just
it
there was
is
just
pop
so many
'cause it's
different.
whatever's
Yeah, it is pop.
popular.
It's
That
why it's
sort of is
popular.
popular.
But like but like him selling 25,000, that wouldn't dictate that Childish Gambino is popular. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that wasn't popular sounds that I heard
Nah,
in there.
but
Like
he
I didn't hear a
didn't-
trap. I didn't hear a trap drum in sight. Do you know what I mean?
He did not advertise this album at all. I think he
At all.
purposely did not advertise this album at all.
Yeah, like I just think, but then again as well, like even if he did advertise the album, I wouldn't see people saying, "Yo, I'm listening to this." Like that Time song with Ariana Grande is like 7 minutes long, and
That's
like
a
has
tune.
a massive. I know it's a tune. I really like that song, but it has like a massive synth break that's like 3 minutes long at the end of the song. I just know people don't listen to music like that anymore. They don't sit down
Yeah.
with music like that. Do you know what I mean?
This,
Like
this is way more of an experience, I'd say,
Yeah,
than a project.
that's what I'm trying to get.
That's
yeah.
what he's tried to bring, and it's an experimental project which comes across as an experience more of an album, and that's definitely what he's tried to put across.
Yeah.
But favorite songs from this, I want to know yours first before I say mine. I think you may already know some of mine, but what are your favorite songs from this?
Mine is Time and
Okay.
Time, and I like 1238 as well, which is after Time. Those are like my two favorite songs.
Okay, so Time and 1238. So we
Yeah.
don't have similar. I mean, both good songs. I would say, like, if I was to put them up there, they'd be my favorites.
Oh, is 1238? I can't really remember. Is 1238 the one with 21 on there?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 1228 and Time. Just the only reason because I really liked hearing 21 over like that nice smooth production. I like to hear an album full of that. Like that would be really good. It's very different to hear him in that kind of space, working with Childish Gambino. And then there's some other ones on here as well, but I just can't remember all. I know what the song sounds like in my head, but I can't remember what the track name's called. So
Yeah. I've got the album up here. I can talk through, but yeah, the ones that for me stand out as being like the best is 47 or 48, which is basically I think it's like what, To Be Beautiful, or is what it was called before it got officially released with a timestamp. The song that mentions violence quite a lot.
oh yeah.
And then the outro and Under the Sun, or its official name 5349 on the timestamp. That to me is the album, not the album, sorry. That's the song of the album for me. Like hands down, it's one of the best songs I've ever heard, and I think it's a great song. But again, that's like my personal preference of loving him doing that sort of stuff. I really like the Ariana Grande song, I really did. But to me, the Under the Sun, the outro is just it's the song that I play the most of on repeat.
See, whereas like Time is the one that I play a lot just because of the synth break at the end, that like last 3 minutes where the beat like changes and like goes into I don't even know I don't really know what to call it, but like I just call it a synth break. It's just sick. The production, all of it, like his singing in the background, like the choir, like it was just very, like I said, like this is like music I felt like Brockhampton wanted to make. Like that's what it sounded like to me. Like I feel like it's all of the right things in that kind of like music that like just would sound really good in a massive stadium. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so it felt like to me. It's like, and that's not a slight to Brockhampton because I was talking about them like earlier with my girlfriend, and talking about how I kind of miss that kind of saturation era of music, and the way how that was, and it kind of listening to Gambino's album kind of reminded me of some of that kind of music.
Well, don't worry, because Isolation EP is on the way, and it's gonna be like that.
Isolation. It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that. Is that it? It's gonna be like that. Yeah. And then that's about it really with the Gambino album. I don't know if you want to take us through the Weeknd. If you want to tell us.
Yeah. So the Weeknd's album, I actually had a discussion with Brandon about this off air.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because me and Brandon are probably bigger Weeknd fan. Brandon's a massive Weeknd fan, bigger than me.
Yeah, he's massive. Yeah, he's a massive.
I'm probably a bigger Weeknd fan than you with his current stuff, I'd say.
Yeah, current stuff. I'm a massive old Weeknd fan. Like, I will go back and still listen to Kissland. That's like my favorite. Everyone hates that album. I love it. It's one of the favorite albums.
If you haven't listened to this album, I'd highly recommend it. So my breakdown to Brandon for this is basically like, I think it's some of his best work. It's very different. It's a completely different style. And Brandon said it's a different style, but I got like original Weeknd feelings from some of the songs on this. It was quite emotional to that sense and a bit sort of depressive, and I've not really heard stuff like that from him to that degree since Kissland, like that the before Kissland era and Kissland.
Yeah, before Kissland, yeah.
Because Starboy is pretty upbeat a little bit. He went a bit poppier.
The beauty behind the madness was full pop, basically.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
This is, to me anyway, just feels like it's back to its original roots. Brandon seen it as a whole new take, so he had a different sort of approach on it to what I did, but it's how you would interpret that. And I think if you're a fan of the older Weeknd, this is definitely the album for you. I've spoken to a few people about it, and they do seem to get a little bit of that vibe from it as well. There's a lyric where he basically says like, I think it's there's a few songs anyway. Faith for me, which is track 8. There's heavy synths in that, which really reminds me of like early Weeknd. I think that's where I sort of got that original vibe from, because the use of like the big heavy synths coming in every now and then. That's where, that is OG Weeknd back in the day. What he used to do, what he was best at. Like, it's his style.
Is there any slowed down indie songs on the album?
Not really.
That's the Weeknd's bank.
There's fast-paced electronic like shit on there. Like, it's sort of, it goes into a little bit, not necessarily drum and bass, but like a bit like electronic, like EDM-y sort of stuff at times. It's interesting album, really good. There's a lot of stuff. There's a song lyric where Cali was the mission, but now like a guy leaving. That's like proper old school Weeknd lyrics as well, to a degree. Like even the way he says it, like it's just got those feelings about it for me. I think if you haven't listened to it and you like old Weeknd stuff, definitely check it out. It's different in its own way, but it is very, very good. Hardest to Love is a great song where it's got the sort of upbeat bit in the middle where it turns into like the heavy sort of EDM-y drum stuff, which is interesting, but a good song. And Snow Child is a very sort of slowed down song, really good. Until I Bleed Out, the outro of the original album, not the deluxe, but the original album. Again, that's a very, very good song. Save Your Tears is basically like an 80s inspired song as well. So there's a bit of everything on there, but there's a lot of those synths and electronic elements in there as well, which is more the Weeknd than what he was doing in the middle area. So I really like this album, and I've been listening to it quite a lot on repeat as well. The deluxe version did come out, and he's got like a few remixes on there. Little Uzi Vert's on a remix of Heartless with him. He's got like some chromatic remixes, electronic remixes, stuff like that, and then like an SNL live for Scared to Live. So it's interesting. If you haven't listened to it, and you're a fan of The Weeknd, I'd recommend it highly. But
cool.
that's my full sort of review rundown of it. I know you said you haven't listened too much of it. But
I will give that more of a serious peep, because
did you like his singles that come out from this album before?
I didn't mind. I think there was one. Was it Blinding Lights? Maybe. I don't think I minded that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think Heartless was alright as well. Do you know what? I didn't mind any of the singles. I think it's just I've
on their own.
I've gone into listen. I kind of went in to listen to it. I've like watched the videos because I know that he's also got like, and there's like a bit of like a story or concept around this as well with the videos, and he keeps turning up to like performances and everything with like the bloody face and stuff like that. So I think he's obviously tried to do some type of like story with it as well. So maybe I just need to really sit down, listen to it all, look at all the content, like the videos and that, and get with it, because once I did that for Starboy, I enjoyed the album a lot more. Once I watched all the videos and everything like for it, and like I thought it was really cool. And as I said, I will just give it more of a serious peep in it, really. Obviously, after you said your review, if it's like old Weeknd fans, if you want to sit down and listen to something. Obviously, I'm really kind of interested to know what the song Escape from LA is going to sound like.
Escape from LA is really good.
Yeah, because that's just from one of my favorite TV like series, Escape from New York, it's Metal Gear. So I was thinking, was there references to Metal Gear on there? Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to know what's going down in it. Like, so it's
I'm not sure, but I'm not gonna say too much about it, so you listen. But
let's do it. But I just wanted to do like a little, because obviously I know that you said you haven't really got into parties, whereas on the other hand, I have got into the Party album, and there's distant memories of old Party on there. We don't get him fully back. We probably won't ever get that kind of Party 1, Party 2 ever again now.
Now we're in the Party Mobile. Yeah,
he's definitely come up for like a turn up vibe more than anything. Like, he's got a few summer songs in there, the Rihanna songs, pretty summery, pretty reggae, pretty dancehall inspired. A few tracks on there are quite bouncy, but then he also goes back into that kind of like depressing kind of like, party I'm on my ones driving on the motorway to you kind of like vibe, which he does very well. And there is some really good songs on there, but there's only a handful of really good songs on there though. So it's kind of like a little bit sad that, this is where we've come to now with Party, somebody who is probably one of the most sought after like writers in the music industry, because that's where he's been, just writing songs for people. And how he's come out with his debut, and it just never lives up to the mark. Just never ever lives up to what my expectations are going to be out of a PARTYNEXTDOOR project.
Yeah, like I said, I've only listened to probably the first 4 tracks, and one of them is already a song that's already been out. Or maybe no, exactly. Two of them are already songs that have already been out.
Already songs that have already been out, and they're arguably probably some of the better songs on the project.
Yeah, that's what I already felt from listening to 4 or 5 songs, and I was like, okay, but I didn't have the time to get into it. It kind of
pissed me off a little bit still. It did kind of piss me off, because I think Party, I don't know who you're saving all your best material for. Obviously, he's been writing hard on Rihanna's new album, in it. Like, he's been a main collaborator of that album, and Party's probably writing other albums and other projects. I know he's been heard to working with Beyonce, and he's definitely been working with Drake, and all these other people who have got projects that are gearing to come out this year. So I don't really know. I just would rather Party handled himself much better, but maybe he's happy. Maybe he's happy just doing this. I don't know. Yeah, it's not good music, Party. I'm not happy.
That's right, because I've recruited him to work on Isolation EP as well with me, so it's
okay. We got Faro in the way then. Yeah, that's about it really. Insomnia is really good. Go check that out. Probably some of the biggest man in the UK right now, Skepta, Chip, and Young Ads. They're on the top. So it's just what you expect from a budget like that. Just really good raps, really. Good UK raps. So I don't really know. There's nothing else to really say, That's all we've got really. I like to just just say everyone's stay safe. Yeah, that's about it really. Follow the guidelines of your government. Stay indoors. Only do essential travel. All of them good things there in it, Tom. What you got to say?
I mean, yeah, just listen. Don't be stupid. Follow instructions. Just do what you're told. It's to save a lot of people, and it is for it's for the good of the world, not just for the good of certain people. It's for the good of the world, and
it's for the good. Exactly.
Why not?
It's for the good of the world.
But yeah, I mean, we've somehow managed to make this show last 2 hours, which we said at the start, and we always say at the start. Actually, we're never gonna. There's not enough to talk about. We're not gonna make this last 2 hours, and always surprise ourselves and do make it last for 2 hours. So I'm very, very, very interested in that.
I don't really know how.
I don't know how, but I've got an extra 5 minutes, and I do have an extra thing to speak about, or we have an extra thing to speak about. So if you follow our socials, then we have been more active on socials more recently, and we're aiming to do as much as we can there. Now, because obviously there's this isolation period, and we have a lot of time indoors, a lot of time to spare, we've decided, like Tyrell said earlier, to sort of step up our game a little bit, do the things that we've always talked about doing and put in place, but never made the content for. So we're working behind the scenes at the moment to get some content out to you, whether that be in the form of some form of extra show, a little small sort of shorter show, or a thing that we're setting up is a blog. So we're going to set up some blog posts, and we're going to try and write personalized content as much as we can, so you can learn a bit about us, our interests, how we got into this stuff, what our favorite games, music are, stuff like that. More details will follow. You can see all that on our socials. We will post about that. But we are aiming to try and get as much content out there as possible right now. So whilst everyone's sat inside, we're gonna try and expand what we can offer to people. What can we do that's good as well? How can we keep people engaged and indoors as well at the same time whilst offering entertainment? And that's what we've always tried to do anyway with the show. And just expanding that out a little bit more is the best way that we can do that in the shortest time span possible. So we are working on that. We have some interesting stuff that we're working on. I don't think there's much else to expand on there. I mean, we don't have too many details we want to say right yet, just in case too much doesn't come out content wise that we could mention.
As it's saying, the situation, as everyone can see, changes every day. So yeah, we just kind of have to just be dynamic with what we're doing at the moment. But yeah, it's been a time for us to really look at our us and our brand and what we do, and we just thought, why not? It's time for us to maybe try and go full pelt while we have some time, maybe. So yeah, really grateful for the support still, and yeah, Tom really saved everything. We just hard at work trying to do some more things while people are off, more entertainment and keep people occupied in these trying times. Yeah, it's about it really. Obviously, keep following the playlist on Spotify, Apple Music. We're still updating them weekly. The collection has now amassed over 2,000 songs, so we may stop adding to that collection now, and we might try and figure out a way how to get the collection to you in a much more cleaner and better format. Yeah, I think that's really about it. Follow us on our socials. Follow us on 808s and Joystick, 808s and Joysticks on Instagram. Yeah, that's about
808s
it,
and
really.
Joystick on Twitter.
On Twitter, yeah. 808s and Joystick was on Twitter, and 808s and Joysticks was on Instagram. Yeah, follow us on those, and Podbean, Spreaker, we're all on platforms, and check in on us on Dash if you have a chance. Yeah, that's about it, really. When are we on Dash again?
Oh, you caught me way off guard there. 7 p.m. Pacific time on Thursdays and 3 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time on Fridays.
Yeah.
So 3 a.m. in the morning, that is. Yeah. Just one little thing. As Easter's coming up as well, obviously we're not going to be able to go out and do Easter egg hunts, promote and stuff like that. But we have been speaking about content. Now, there is content on the website at the moment that I have made live, and is a little bit of an Easter egg hunt for you. You can go and try and view that content right now if you want to, but it's up to you. You've got to find it. I'm not going to give you the link yet, and it will be the same content that's on there after launch, but you can go and find it early if you really want to do that. So, any Gambino fans out there trying to check the code, then this is your time to shine.
Well, yeah, I didn't even know that was happening, so it's a surprise to me too. So, but yeah, anybody wants to go and check that out, then feel free. Tom's put some gems in there. He's our hard at work, back end guy. He does all of that. Very good at it. He's the reason why the business is the way it is at the moment. So this is how it's going. Go and find Tom's article. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for listening to the show. It's show 54 now. So yeah, still going, still striving. Stay safe, everyone.
808s and Joysticks with Tom Stone and Tairell Haywood Brown.